Hello, this is a video teaching you how to make macros in Word. If you have read my book, Strengthen Your Fiction by Understanding Weasel Words, that's probably how you found this video. If you've stumbled upon it another way, basically building a macro is teaching Word how to do a series of commands with one push of a button. So what our goal is to highlight an entire manuscript, certain words in an entire manuscript, so that we can edit it in a particular fashion. So these weasel words are in groups, and we're going to do different macros for each of these groups of words. I'm not going to do entire groups of weasel words because it's quite a bit. You can get those from my book so that you can see what the list is, but it would make too long of a video to do the whole thing. So the first thing that we're going to do is some of the words from the unneeded weasel word group that are up here. These are unneeded weasel words. They often add nothing more than word count to your manuscript. And so what we're going to do is we're going to teach Word how to highlight this list of words. So first thing we need to do is come over to the View tab, come to Macros, and press Record Macro. We need to name it what we'll remember it means. So unneeded weasel words is what this is. So unneeded weasels. Make sure there is no space. It doesn't want a space in this name. You can make a button to go up here, but you have to hover over it in order to see what it is, and it takes a millisecond or two to actually show what it is. I don't bother with it. It's much easier to come here, but you can make a button if you want to memorize that the orange button means unneeded weasel words. You can put a description here of what it is if you want from the book. Press OK. Now there is a cassette that is attached to my mouse arrow that I think you can see. That means that it is recording. So the first thing we want to do is this list of words under unneeded weasels, and we need to go to the Home tab and find the Replace, because we are going to find a number of and replace it with itself, a number of, but we want it to look different. So we need to come down to this More. We can't do whole words only because it's a phrase that we've started out with. But we do want to highlight it. So we're going to come down to Format, press Highlight. We want to highlight it a color, so we need to actually make sure that this is an actual color. And we need to press Replace All. Okay, it's replaced all, and you can see that it actually did. Now the next one we're going to do is About. And once we're moving from a phrase to a whole word, we need to press whole words only, otherwise roundabout will be highlighted or anything else that might have about in it. So we want it whole words only highlighted. So we replace all. Okay, then do example of, and you can just copy and paste that, and now the whole words only is gone because it's a phrase. Replace all. Okay, now we're going back to fairly, which is one word. So we need to make sure that we press whole words again. If we needed to match case for any reason to make it capital, then that's fine, but we don't. So replace all. All right, we are done. We're not going to do far because I'm going to show you a hint for really long lists of things. So we're going to close this, and we are done. So we're going to go to View, we're going to go to Macros, and we're going to stop the recording. Alright, now our recording has stopped, and now we can see our macros, and here it is. Let's check and make sure it works. So we're going to highlight this, take off the highlighting, and now we're going to view that macro by going to View, Macros, View Macros. We're going to press Unneeded Weasel Words, and we're going to run it. And as you can see, all of those things happened very, very quickly with one touch of a button. Now, if you have a very, very long list and you want to skip doing the replace and all that kind of stuff, you can come up to View Macros, go to the one that you want to add words to, press Edit. Now you can see here is what that macro looks like. You have the sub unneeded weasels macro right here. What you're going to do is you're going to find what belongs to just one thing. End with, selection, find, whatever. So this one's selection, find, execute, replace all, and then we have end sub, and that's your macro, so we don't want to touch this one. Well, right here, selection, find, execute, nope, we don't want to do that one. Here we go. This is new code right here. From with selection find to selection find, actually replace all that. We are going to copy this because this is just one word. So it's going to have that whole entire word. Now right afterwards, press it again, press enter, and paste that in. So now you got two fairlies, and it has two fairlies in it. We wanted to put the word far in here, so press far, change this one to far as well, and you're good. Now that, whatever instructions you gave Word to do for fairly, you are now giving it for far. So you are done. You don't have to save, just click out of this. Now we're going to try it again, just to make sure it worked. I'm going to unhighlight them all. I'm going to go to view macros, unneeded weasels, run it. There you go. Far has now been added. So that is a quicker way to do things once you get it set up and you've got all of the right commands for that type of word. Now let's do another macro. We're going to record the adverb macro, which is just finding words with ly in it. So we're going to do adverb weasels. Make sure there is no space. Press OK. Now we're recording. What we need to do is just find the suffix ly. If you want to add some other adverbs that are not ly, that's fine. I don't find it that necessary to do, but you can. So what you're going to do is replace that word lie. As you can see, the last thing that the computer did was far, so it remembered what it did. It's actually doing the stuff, so it was still there. Okay, we do not want whole words. We want to match the suffix. We want to highlight. Let's say we want to highlight it something else. Make sure it actually has a color. I don't know how many times I've accidentally highlighted things and nothing doing macros. So we have a match suffix, so it's not going to do the word Lynn. It'll just do truly, madly, deeply for Savage Garden fans. So we're going to replace all. And as you can see, it included fairly, madly, deeply. Now, the reason why I include fairly in the unneeded weasel words is because that particular adverb is really hardly ever needed, whereas truly, madly, deeply may necessarily be needed, especially if you're like Savage Garden and making song lyrics. So you have finished that one and you are done recording. So you press close, you press view, and stop recording. So now that has been done. Now this one, the he, she clustered pronoun weasels, we're going to make every single one of those different. So we are going to do another macro, record macro, call it pronoun cluster weasels. And I'm clustering my words or my letters. All right. Now we're going to make each of these different. So I'm going to home, replace. Now let's do he. We're not going to match suffix. Well, up at the top. We're not going to match suffix. We are going to make it a whole word only, so we don't get the word hello. And we are going to match case. So it needs to be a capital H. So we have a capital H-E, match case whole words. We're going to make it a highlight. And I usually do these in blue and pink. So I have dark blue for the he. So I'm going to replace all. Alright. And then for the little he, I'm going to leave it on match case. I'm going to highlight with a different blue. Light blue. Replace all. And that's good. Then she, I'm going to highlight with a red and replace all. Okay. And then a lowercase she, I'm going to do with pink. Oh, I just did the wrong thing. So I need to replace it with pink and replace all. Alright. So I'm done. View, macros, stop the recording. Now, let's just check and make sure we did everything right. We're going to have a problem. We're not going to have a real problem. We're just going to bog it down. You'll watch that the she changes color twice. So let's run that macro. View macro, pronoun clustered, run. Okay, it went so fast you didn't actually see that I made this she red first, but we're going to change that just because in like a 100,000 manuscript, it will slow it down. So I'm going to the view the macros, pronoun cluster weasels, edit. Now remember, go down the end. Remember how the last one was good? There's pink right here. We want to get rid of the first she, this one, to replace all. There's the red. I think that's all I have to do. The pink with the red. Yep. Okay. So let's make sure that actually works. Go back to this. Select all. Get rid of the colors. View. Macros. And run it. There you go. So that is how you make macros. And so you would do this for every single one of them. That is all.